We will present to you some of the horrible phenomenon that is currently happening to our and other countries. Come and join us to discuss and know more about human trafficking, discrimination, unending drug war, abortion and euthanasia, abuse of power, political killings, threats and harassment, the spread of misinformation, and lastly, freedom of media. As a Catholic, it is my duty to be mindful of the different things that is occurring around me. Because as we know, during the course of our history, some of this has always been a problem of our country and because of the people who wanted to gain more wealth and power in the society.
In our country, Philippine law enforcement reported identifying 1,444 victims of trafficking, the vast majority of whom were sex trafficking victims compared with the 2,953 victims in 2018. The vast majority of these victims reported experiencing forced labor and or illegal recruitment. Fewer than 25 were victims of sex trafficking. Human trafficking consists of transferring, harboring, and receipt of a person or persons. It is often done in violent or deceptive ways using threat, coercion, payments, and a clear abuse of power. Finally, the main motive behind the human trafficking is exploitation. In most cases, sexual exploitation or forced labor. People all over the world are victims of human trafficking, both in their own countries and abroad. Because this is a widespread issue with varying levels, it becomes increasingly challenging to address it with a single set of laws or policies. You should be always aware of human trafficking activities, being educated on the issue and the signs that could indicate someone is a victim of human trafficking increases the likelihood of reporting and could give a voice to the victims who do not feel comfortable speaking out for themselves. Raise the awareness of the issue and start resisting.
No one sex or race is above or superior to another. The Catechism of the Catholic Church states clearly that men and women were made equal in the eyes of God, and that men and women complement one another. To be equal does not necessarily mean that same. To be equal means to have and same rights and nature as others.
Unending drug war. Call for justice for numerous casualties. Lives are affected due to the killings and the so-called drug war. Numerous lives and families were affected by this since the police blamed anybody for selling drugs and they were killed. There really can be no peace without justice. There can be no justice without truth, and there can be no truth unless someone rises up to tell you the truth. The call for the UN and ICC to investigate numerous rights have been violated due to the drug war that was proposed by our president. But this is an anti-poor, since the poorest family are the most affected by it. And this, hopefully, will be a lesson to us that in the incoming elections, we'll select the leader of our country who isn't likely to be like our past. Because when history repeats itself once, it's tragedy. When it repeats itself twice, it's a farce.
Our population today is extremely high and it continues to rise. Many unwanted or unplanned pregnancies has been solved by abortion. Abortion by definition means removing the fetus or embryo from the woman's womb before it can live outside the uterus. This issue has been controversial over the world for many years. Many people are against it, while there are people saying it is the right of the woman to choose whether to keep the baby or eradicate them. We believe that abortion is the murder of innocent lives. Therefore, it means that it is against the law. In RE4, we study the very basic human right, which is the right to live. No one is allowed to take lives of someone, especially a baby.
In the Philippines, since then, the higher the position, the greater the power. Thus, abuse of power. The abuse of power for private gain. By this, corruption has deprived countless citizens around the globe of much needed public services and benefits of development. The wide-ranging impact of corruption could result in a myriad of outcomes. In April 2020, the Global Infrastructure Anti-Corruption Center said that corruption may cause inadequate infrastructure, dangerous infrastructure, displacement of people, damage to the environment, reduced spending in infrastructure, reduced public expenditure, and reduced foreign investment. The abuse of power is really affecting everyone since all of our taxpayers' money are going to waste. Instead of developing our country, it goes straight for their personal need because of their selfishness.
The political killings, threats, and harassment have become a major issue within the Philippines, and speaking of right allows us to express the idea that all individuals are part of the scope of morality and justice. As a student, it is our responsibility to stand up those rights and doing the best value to possess in order to successfully promote justice and peace is courage. Having the courage to seek justice in the midst of inequality and unjust system is one way to eradicate oppressors and bring back the individual power of those oppressed. This will also be a big help in eliminating chaos and empowered individuals, resulting in peaceful and harmonious community. Achieving or maintaining the justice and peace during this pandemic is challenging. But as a letter knight, I make sure to use my voice and social media platforms to voice out the right information and share it or encourage those people to maintain peace and justice during this pandemic. Because a lot of people are experiencing the injustice and people are suffering. We should use our freedom of speech to voice out our thoughts by maintaining a justice and peaceful environment.
In the present society, fake news detection has become a central discussion topic, as the need to permanently assess the accuracy of digital content has been raised by the constant spread of false news and information. On social networking websites, the reach and effects of information spread are, however, significantly amplified and occur at such a fast pace that distorted, inaccurate, or false information acquires a tremendous potential to cause real impacts within minutes towards millions of users. A way to prevent this from happening is to use credible sources. Do not rely on information that are opinion-based, have no sources, or is suspicious.
Freedom of media is the fundamental right of various forms of media, including print, radio, television, and online media, to operate freely in society without government control, restriction, or censorship. This is crucial because it promotes an informed citizenry by providing access to information to everyone. Also, being critical is not antagonization, it actually paves the way for improvement and progress by learning from mistakes, Seriano said. Press freedom is needed for democracy as it one of its pillars.
Hope you guys learned a lot about our topic and our own opinions about human trafficking, discrimination, unending drug war, abortion and euthanasia, abuse of power, political killings, threats and harassments, the spread of misinformation, and freedom of media. And that's the end of our video presentation. Don't forget to like and share our video. Thank you for watching, everyone.